Hey guys, this is Rosa Kelly. Welcome back to the channel and to the last part of the baby girl mini album tutorial. So I am using my digital collection called Sweet Dreams Baby Girl, and you can find this collection on my website. I'm gonna have the link down below. Also, if you miss the rest of the tutorial, I'm gonna have it link below as well. So this is a free tutorial, but I do have a PDF cutting guide if you're interested on that and kind of seeing the measurements ahead of time and preparing your papers and all of that. And also that's support me a lot when you guys are interested on those PDFs. But today we're just gonna go ahead and add the pages onto our book and work on the cover. So on the first part we went ahead and work on the base and the inside covers, and then on parts 2 and 3 we created all the pages. Now in the meantime, as I was uploading and editing the rest of the tutorial, I went ahead and added some more of the design paper on the inside. So I'll just give you a quick look. I'm not quite finished with adding everything, but I added some of these papers here. This one was already done ahead, and then for this one I think I still need to add paper. I just went ahead and printed more. That's the beauty of digital paper. You can print as many pages as you need to complete your projects, or you can even make multiple projects with that. So I printed more of this page here, and then I still need to work on that. And this one was finished. I need to work on this one, and then I added some paper here, so I printed more of the elephants. I gotta add one more here, and then the sweet little elephant holding the balloon. And then here I printed more of the cupcake page, and then I think I'm gonna add another cupcake page over here. But I just love the sweet elephant there. But okay, so I also have the month-to-month bubbles. These are also included on my digital collection. I think it's the last page. So I'm going to be cutting that and adding that throughout the pages here. So the first page is the newborn page, and then it goes from 1 month to 12 months, and then we have the last page even here. So if you like, sometimes what I do is I make the whole first 2 pages to be either the baby's like baby shower or ultrasound pictures, and then baby newborn in the hospital, or coming home. That's why I put the stroller here. And then you can start with the month-to-month bubbles over here. So 1, 2. So it's up to you. We do have extra pages to be able to do that. So all together we have 14 pages counting the inside covers. But okay, so now we're gonna start adding these pages to our book, and I'm going to start with the last page. And what we're gonna do is just simply add glue on this 1/2 inch. Make sure that you're using a really strong glue. I always use my art glitter glue for everything that is paper, and then I use my 3-in-1 kind of like bonding glue for flowers, embellishments, laces, and things like that. Okay, so now we're just gonna go ahead and start gluing. So we're gonna add the glue on this 1/2 inch section, and you do want to make sure you add a lot of glue. And then we are going to place this piece here. Okay, so really close to the back bending line there, but of course make sure that you are staying clear of that. And then we're just going to go ahead and press down and press down, and then we're going to fold the page over here, and we're going to add the next 1/2 inch section. So we're going to add add the glue. Okay, so make sure we get enough glue in here. And then we are just going to place this one right next to the one that we already added. And that 1/2 inch serves as the gusset in between the pages. Okay, so we're just going to press, press, press. And there we go. So we're just going to continue adding all of these pages here. So again, just adding my glue, and there we go. Just line this up to the next page, and there we go. And now we're just going to press down. Okay, and now we're going to continue with the next page. So we're going to again just add the glue. Make sure you add a lot of glue. And then we are going to place this one right next to the other one. Okay, and then press down. And okay, so again, continue with the next. And one of the reasons why I don't like adding the monthly bubbles until the end is just in case I want to add more layouts, but most of the time I switch the order of the pages. I don't know why I always do that when I make books. I might start one way, and then I like how some of the pages turn out more than others, I guess, and I just rearrange the order. Sometimes I like to put like a really interesting page next to a page that's more simple, and it just kind of balances the flow of the book in general. But for this one, I think we're going to stay pretty close to how the pages were designed. Okay, and now I'm just going to add the first page, which is our last page that we are adding. Okay, so lots of glue, and now we're just going to place this piece right here. So you should have about a 1/2 inch distance between this last page that we're adding to the bending line right there. So we should have some room right over here. And so there we go. So we have all of our pages added right there, here. And I love that this hinge is super easy, but also it allows you to open all of your pages really flat, as you can see, all of the pages. Okay, and now we're just gonna work on the cover here first. And before I add my paper, I want to add a closure, so I'm gonna use more of this ribbon and just cut 2 pieces, 2 long pieces right there. And I'm going to add my glue. So for this, I'm using this 3-in-1 glue. You can also use fabric glue. And there we go. And we are going to secure with the tape. Okay, so we're just gonna add that, and then same thing for the other side. I'm just gonna make sure I place this on the same, there we go, so at the same place here. Add some glue, put that down, and then we're going to add the tape. Okay, so there we go. Just put 1 and 2, and then so that way this is really secure, and then we're gonna glue the paper on top. Okay, so there we go. So now for the paper, I went ahead and printed a bunch of another set of sheets here because I just want to make sure that I have options for the cover. So I think this definitely needs to be in the cover, and then I was thinking either we can put that center here, or we can put that, let's see, I also printed another one of the elephants and the cupcakes, some more backgrounds, and I don't know what happened here, but anyway, I printed these. And so these I like that for the cover, and then we can always put, because I want the baby sleeping on the cover here, so we can always put these at the center. So I think what I'm gonna start doing is cutting these little clouds with the teddy bear, and I'm gonna kind of like overimpose the image with the options that I have and see which one looks best. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut. So here I have my image, and I was just kind of playing with that. If we put this on the center, I think this looks really cute. I actually love this a lot. And then the other option that I have was to put this same cloud over here, which still looks really cute, but I think I'm gonna go for the other for this, because I don't know, it just looks so centric and so pretty. And then I'm gonna be using this one for, oh, this would be so cute too, like to put it like this somehow on the stars. Oh, I love it, I love it. But I'm gonna be using this for the back cover, and okay, and maybe I can use this for the spine, but let's go ahead and cut these papers. So I'm just gonna put this here on top, and so we want to cut these at 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. Okay, so there. Okay, so 8 1/4 by 8 1/4, and same thing for this one. Basically, I'm just taking out all of the white because my printer always have that little white border around. Okay, so there we go. So those are those, and let me put this down here, and I'm gonna use that. And I do want to cut one of these for the spine, but maybe I'll do this, I'll do that at the end. Okay, so let's move, yeah, let's move this over. Okay, and we're going to start by gluing the back. Now always open your book again and double check, because it's happened to me more than one time that I have everything ready and for some reason I put the book like that, and I, you know, go ahead and get it out, put the picture, and then I open it and it's upside down. So we want to make sure we always double check on that. So I'm just going to remove the tape. Now this will be the back. And I'm going to use this page with the airplane. I think this is very symbolic because at the beginning of the book, the baby is just a cute little newborn. And then by the end of the first year, the baby is ready to explore and just kind of be a little bit more, you know, tiny bit more independent. I mean, as independent as you can be when you're 1 year old. But I mean, I still think it's, you know, you're probably already, baby's already walking or moving or just sitting up and playing and just ready to take on the world. So I love that page. I think it's very symbolic and very sweet. Okay, so we're just gonna add the glue right here. Okay, my glue. Okay, so we're just gonna add these, and that's gonna be the back. Okay, so press down. Okay, so that will be the back. And now we're gonna do the front, which is gonna be just very simple. Just simply, we're gonna glue this down. And I mean, the elephant is just really beautiful if you just wanna keep that. Okay, and we're gonna put this piece here. Okay, so press down, and now we're gonna add our sweet little baby right here. So I do want to add some volume to this piece, and I think I'm just gonna use some chipboard. So let me grab some of my leftovers. I have quite a lot of leftover pieces. So I'm just gonna use one of these. If you have foam tape, you can use foam tape as well. Okay. And so I'm just cutting that, and there we go. So I'm gonna put 2 pieces here on the back. Okay, so there we go. We're just gonna put that right there, and then press down, press down, and then maybe here I'm just gonna put some small pieces right there. Okay, so again, 2 layers. Okay, and then maybe over here on the star. Place that. And then another layer right. Okay, so now that we have the volume, we can go ahead and add the little cloud right at the center. Okay. And there we go. I'm just gonna place that right there, and look how pretty. So simple, but just so cute. If you want to customize this book, it will be really pretty to put a name up here, kind of like going around like that. And then I also have some flowers that I want to use here. So these are from Hobby Lobby, from the Paper Studio. And when I saw those flowers, I knew I wanted to make this baby book. Look how pretty they are, so shabby chic. So let me grab a couple of those. And I think we can put that right there. And then maybe a couple more up here. Maybe I'll just do 3 over here instead. Yeah, and then we have some room to put the name again if you wanted to personalize this book right there. Okay, so there we go. So pretty, so simple. I'm just gonna let these flowers dry there for a minute, and on the meantime I am going to pick another sheet that I can use for the spine of the book. So I think I was looking at this one for the spine. I'm gonna see, I don't think I can fit. I'm gonna have to play with this a little bit and see if I can cut these at a 3 1/4. So it will be 3 1/4 by 8 1/4. So let's cut this here. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this out. Okay, so if I am cutting at 3 1/4, 3 1/4 is right there. So I could probably just fit either just the rocking horse, or we can do, maybe we can do it on this side. Okay, so let's do that. I'm gonna do it on this side that doesn't have any design. So 3 1/4. I'll move it over here. Okay, so this is 3 1/4, and then maybe we can just fussy cut an image here. I really like this little bear. That one's a little too big, so maybe we can cut from the cover. I'm thinking either the little bear or the teddy bear with the balloons, but let's try this one. Okay. And let's just go ahead and cut. Okay, so here's the little bear that we can put right here. And I think this is perfect because even if you want to personalize the spine and not a baby's name or maybe the year or the birth date, that would be really cute to have over here. Okay, so that's gonna be the spine, and now we can just go ahead and glue this down. Okay, and so that is going to go right there. Okay, so here we have our cover. I went ahead and added this trim that I had, or pearls, that I just had randomly here on my stash, and I love the color. It matches really beautiful with the cover here. And I was just letting my flowers dry here for a second, and that is how the cover is going to look like. Okay, so now I'm just going to do a little bit of embellishing inside the pages here, and so I'm going to start adding my monthly bubbles. So on the digital collection, like I mentioned, there is a page that has the little monthly bubbles, and I'm going to be using my die cuts to maybe cut the best size possible. I think this one will be good, but I want to make sure that I don't go next to the other one. This one will be good also, but this one's probably exactly the same size as the bubbles here, so maybe I'll use this one. And what I'm gonna do before I run this to my die cut is I'm just gonna take each one here. Now I think you can also do a scan and cut, and I do have a cricket and I do have a silhouette but for some reason I just like doing things the hard way. So I'm going to be using my die cut and just going here one by one. Okay, and I am just going to separate this and here. Okay, now if you don't want to spend all the time cutting the circular shapes for each one, you can always just trim a square around it on your paper cutter, and that should be fine as well. Okay, so I'm going to bring here my cutter, and we're just going to start doing each one of these. Okay, so now to make sure that I have the bubble center, I know it's gonna be hard to see on the video, but I like to put them against my lights. I have my lamp here where I record, so if you put it against a lamp, you can actually see where the die cut sits on the bubble, right? Because you want to make sure it's kind of center. Now of course you can always just kind of go around and place it like that. And it is also helpful to use a little bit of washi tape, which I had right next to me, but hold on. So it's good to use a little bit of washi just to make sure this is not going to move. Okay, so we're just gonna put that like that, and then run these through. Okay, so let me move that over, and it should be fairly easy and quick to pass this through. I'm actually going to put a piece of cardstock on the back to make this a little bit tighter. Okay, I just want to make sure this is nice and tight. Okay, so here I have all my monthly bubbles. Maybe I should put them in order. So, okay, so there we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 1 year. Okay, oh, there we go. And so we're just gonna start adding the bubbles and doing some embellishing on these pages. So I have this really pretty pink bling, and I think this will be really nice to kind of just add a little bit more detail on some of the pages here. So I'm just gonna start adding some of these. So I think I'm just gonna cut this like that and start adding this bling here. So we can either put it at the top or the bottom. Just gonna, oops, maybe put it along the top, just like that. And I also have some more of these flowers, and I think I want to just add a few more over here. Let's just place that, and these flowers do need to dry a little bit, so I'm just gonna keep them like that. And okay, so here's where we could start adding the first month bubbles, or we could start on this side and then just count, and then this will be your 11th and this will be your 12th, but that would allow for all of these beautiful newborn pages. So I think that's what I'm actually going to do. So I'm gonna shift all the months. This is gonna look different from the tutorial, the order of the pages, so I hope it's not too confusing, but I think I'm just gonna go for that and start the first month over here. I'm going to just fix this bubble, and since I didn't center the die, I'm just gonna cut around that circle, and it won't be a perfect circle anymore, but at least it won't look so uneven anymore. Okay, so I'm just gonna fix that right there. I think that should be fine. Oh, there's a little more up here. Okay, and then we're gonna put that right there, and then I'm thinking for this section I can use some more elements here from the cover. I'm just gonna put them right there. So maybe I can use this bear over here with the balloons. And so I'm just gonna cut. That way we use all of these images here. Okay, so you can use your cover sheet as another ephemera page. And I'm just gonna go around and around here. And there we go. So that wouldn't look so empty. Okay, so we're just gonna put this image right there, and then we're going to start gluing our bubbles. So I'm going to be adding a little bit of chipboard behind the bubble pieces. So I'm just gonna use some of my scraps and I'm gonna cut some pieces here to give these bubbles just a little bit of volume. Okay, that should be okay. And so we're just going to add some glue and place the bubble And then we're going to add this here. You can place it here or on the side. I think this will be a good place for that. Okay, and now we're going to do the second month. So I'm just gonna go around and add these. Okay, so I think the 2 months we can put right up there. Okay, and then here we have the 3 months. So this one can go maybe over here on the side. And then I know we have like a full page with the elephant, but you can always put a picture here on the center and just kind of have that nice frame around it. Okay, so that will be number 3. And then for number 4, I was thinking we can either put it here as if the bear was holding it, or you can put it somewhere up here as well. So I think I'm just gonna go for the option that looks like the bear is kind of holding this. So I'm just taking some of the little white outline that I didn't center this correctly on the die cut. There we go. Oh, that's cute, like that. Okay, so 5 months. I'm just gonna glue this here, and then maybe that one can go on this corner right there. 5 months. Then the 6 months, we can always leave this empty to add a picture there, so we can put that right here. Okay, so we have 6 months so far, and I want to start adding more of these over here. So I think this will be a good place. Just it adds a little blink right there. Let me see if anywhere, somewhere over here. I think this one's fine. That one's okay. I like this one. I'm not gonna, maybe you could, but okay, so I think that's a really pretty place for that. Then we have this is the 7 months, and I want to add a little bit of paper here. So I think because we only need a little space, we can probably add this little corner right there. So this is 3. Let me measure that. I believe it's 3. Okay, so it's 3.5 by 2.5. So I'm just gonna cut this little pony there. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just do another background page, just a little piece. I did reprint a bunch, or maybe just some solid. I can do some solid pink, and then we can add the 7 months right there. So that is a good option. Yeah, so let me go ahead and cut these. So here's this little piece, and I cut that at 2.25 by 3.25, and then we can just put that right there. And I'm thinking I'm putting the 7th month bubble right up here, and then we can still tie these right there. So I'm just gonna add some glue, and let me put that right there, and then we can add that right here, and I place it kind of like coming up a little bit of the pocket. Okay, and then we still have room to tie this piece like that. Oops, let's try again. So then you have room for little pictures in here. Okay, that's cute. And okay, so now we're gonna continue. I'm still gonna make some tags for that, so I think this is probably a good one for that, or maybe I can add it here. I'm just gonna put this on the side for now. And then over here we have the eight months. So again, I'm just gonna fix these. There we go. Okay, and this one is so cute, so we can put it right there, right here. I think right here is fine. Okay, so I'm also trying to place them so the bubbles are not touching each other. So this one will be here, this one will be here, so when the book opens, they're kind of not, sometimes they might get stuck with each other and start pulling, so you always want to look ahead for that. And over here we have the 9 months, so we're gonna put these right there. Okay, and then just add the glue here. Now I don't want these getting stuck on any of these, so I'm gonna put the 9 months actually up at the top, right there. Okay, so that's the 9 months page. And now for this one, I'm going to just add a page here. So maybe we can add this just on the cover. Or we could also do a background page right there. That will match with this other one on the side. So I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna go for this. So I'm gonna cut this piece at these are 4 3/4 by 6. So I'm gonna cut this at 5 3/4 by 4.5. Okay, so now we're just going to glue this down. There we go. And we're gonna put the 10 months right here somewhere. Now because this is a pull down, I want to make sure that my 10 months are not gonna get stuck anywhere when I'm pulling down this piece. So I'm just gonna glue this one flat on the page here. Okay, so we're just gonna put the 10 months, and I do want to kind of make it just overlap down there like that. So I'm only going to glue the top half and place that right there. Okay, and then so we can still pull these, and that should be fine. Well, right there like that. So that's the 10 months. And then moving on, we have the 11 and the 12 months, which is the 1 year. And I'm just gonna grab another piece here of chipboard from my scraps, and we are going to cut and add the glue. So we're gonna put the 11 months right here, and I'm going to be putting this 1 year. I think I want to put it in between the little elephants, so they're kind of holding that little 1 year banner and celebration. You can still put a picture up here. Yeah, I think here's a little bit, it's too far out, so we're just gonna add that. right there. And then maybe I can add some of these on the side. Maybe actually I want to add these at the bottom right here. So maybe I can just use the smaller pieces that I have and just gonna put that like that. I need it a little smaller. Yeah, that's good. And then I need another piece, maybe to here. I've got this out. And just make that kind of come from the other side. This is a little too big, so I'm gonna take out the last flower. Okay, here we go. So that looks so cute. I love that. Okay, so that's cute. So let's see where else can I add more of this blink piece. So that's cute. I don't think I want to do anything here. This one already has like that border around. Maybe we can add a flower. Over on this page. Let's see. I want to make sure that it's not gonna ruin that waterfall. Maybe I can just simply put it here, I think. Yeah, I think that would be cute. Right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and add these two beautiful flowers right there. Okay, so that goes there. It's just so fun embellishing, and I'm sorry if it's just taking a little time, because you know you want to look at the pages, then you flip the pages, then you go back to the pages and look at the pages again. It's just the process, but it's very relaxing whatsoever. So I'm going to be adding another blink here, and I'm actually just gonna use this one. Okay, and this one right there. And then just gonna complement with this one. And then I have to cut it. This will be my last flower. Right here. Oops. Okay, there we go. And let me fix this. It's kind of going down a little bit, so I'm gonna make it go straight. There you go. So cute. So just not, it doesn't have to be on every page, just here and there to embellish a little bit. I have one more flower, so I might just put it somewhere over on this page. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna put that last flower over here, and there you go. And that is going to be our book. I think I'm done decorating. I might add more things. Knowing myself, I have this cute little thing that says sweet dreams. Maybe I'll put that on the front. Oh, I think that would be cute. Maybe over here, something like this, sweet dreams. Oh, I love it. So I think I am gonna add it yeah, I love that actually. So I'm just going to go ahead and add this little piece. It has some strawberries because it comes from a like a sweet shop collection. But I think it goes really cute here as well. And then maybe I can put one of these flowers up there. So let me just cut one of these. They're so hard to cut because they're super sticky. But okay, let's see. I'm just trying to isolate one of the flowers. Let's see, right there. There you go. Okay, so that can go on that little, there's a little hole, but I think that is perfect. Little bling piece, super cute, and there you go. And of course, if you would like to do like a personalization on your book, you can always put a name up there. And I think we are done. I also have more cupcakes from that same collection, so these are so cute. Maybe we can put them on the first year, like we can put a cupcake right here. Oh yes, I think that will be really cute. The chocolate, I think that one, because it's more pink, we'll just put that one here. And that's this celebration. And so there you go. That is going to be our baby first year album using the Sweet Dreams collection. This is one of my digital collections. I hope you guys enjoy making this book with me. I hope that you had fun. I hope that you give it a try. And I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.